Hello everybody, welcome again to another English lesson. Today we'll start theme 5, the physical world, and we will start with the sections of reading and writing mainly. So please stay with us. And now we'll start with reading. General summary and vocabulary. In this section you read an article that compares two countries. The two countries are Tunisia and Switzerland. And you came through some vocabulary items. Right now I'm going to give you a very quick idea on those words, and later we will give you more exercises. The first word is transport. Transport. Habitable. 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 Destinations. Destinations. Coastline. Coastline. Foodstuffs. Foodstuffs. Safaris. 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 Adventurous. Adventurous. Ruins. Ruins. Towering. Towering. Landscape. Landscape. Borders. Borders. Mountaineering. Mountaineering. Now, we will start with this exercise to refresh your memory. Complete this article with a word from the box in each space. And here are the words again. Transport, destinations, foodstuffs, adventurous, towering, mountaineering, habitable, coastline, safaris, ruins, landscape, and borders. Okay, the article has the title of Choosing a Holiday Destination. Please try to complete while you are following. This week we are looking at two very different holidays. What? Tunisia with its golden beaches, and Switzerland with its... Okay, so the first one is, this week we are looking at two very different holidays. Very good. Destinations. Holiday destinations. Tunisia with its golden beaches, and Switzerland with its dots mountains. How can you describe mountains? With its towering mountains. Towering mountains. Tunisia is located in North Africa. It has dots with Algeria to the west and Libya to the southeast. What do you think? It has... Very good. borders with Algeria to the west and Libya to the southeast. Switzerland is located in Western Europe and is bordered by Italy, France, Germany, and Austria. It has excellent dots links to the capital Bern. It has excellent dots links. It has excellent transport links to the capital Bern. Tunisia has a long Mediterranean coastline. This provides lots of opportunities for water sports. Switzerland, on the other hand, is completely landlocked. However, there are water sports on many lakes. Look at the word landlocked, you can guess the meaning. Land and locked. Land and locked. It means it doesn't have any coasts, it doesn't have any seas. Okay? Both Tunisia and Switzerland are small in terms of population, but Tunisia is much bigger than Switzerland in area. Both countries are similar in the percentage of dots land, the percentage of habitable land, the land you can live on. Both countries are agriculture and export some. Both countries are agricultural and export some foodstuffs. Very good. And export some foodstuffs. Tunisia is famous for its dates, while Switzerland is famous for chocolate. Both countries have pleasant climate and marvelous landscape. Landscape is a word referring to nature or the scenery of the place. For more dots people, Switzerland provides many opportunities for more adventurous people or people who love adventures. Switzerland provides many opportunities for mountaineering. Of course, it means here climbing mountains. From gentle slopes to the highest peak. Peak, of course, refers to somewhere which is very, very high. Okay, the highest place. And here we have a name of a place here, which is Point du Bourg. It's 4,634 meters high, whereas Tunisia offers desert dots to the Grand Erg. Desert safaris. Those are journeys or trips, especially in places like Africa. Switzerland has many beautiful buildings from its long history. Tunisia contains the dots of the ancient city of Carthage, which is nearly 3,000 years ago. Again, Switzerland has many beautiful buildings from its long history. Tunisia contains the dots of the ancient city of Carthage. Okay, so Tunisia contains the ruins, the remains of the ancient city of Carthage, which is nearly 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years old. Okay, now time for exercises. Which word or phrase in the article means? Now we'll test your understanding of meaning. suitable to be lived in. An adjective meaning suitable to be lived in. Good. Habitable. Habitable. Suitable to be lived in. Okay. Person who likes new things or unusual things. Easy. That's adventurous. Adventurous. The edge of the area of land that is next to or close to the sea. The edge of an area of land that is next to or close to the sea. This is coastline. Coastline. One more. A substance that is used as food. Very easy. A substance, a thing that is used as food. Foodstuff. Foodstuff. In foodstuffs, in the plural form. The place where somebody is going. The place where somebody is going. The place you are heading for. Very good. Destination. Destination. We often hear that word when we are on a plane. We should know our destination. The place where we are going. Destination. Vehicles that you travel in. Vehicles that you travel in. Vehicles, of course, is a general word referring to cars, lorries, all kind of vehicles that you travel in. And those are, what are the things we use for traveling? Transport. We could use the word transport or transport methods, or transport means. Okay, they refer to the things we use to travel in. A line that divides two countries. A line that divides two countries. That word is not new, studied it last time. It's border. Border. A building, a town, etc. that has been damaged or destroyed. So we have the remains of that city. A building, town, etc. that has been damaged or destroyed. Very good. Ruin. The natural view of a country, the natural features or scenery. A word referring to nature, the natural features. That is landscape. Landscape. Another word meaning very tall. Very tall. Good. Towering. Towering means something very tall. Trips, especially in Africa, for hunting or looking at wild animals. Trips, another word for trips, especially in Africa. That is safari. Very good. Safari. Sport of climbing mountains. Very easy. Sport of climbing mountains. Mountaineering. Mountaineering. Okay. Now, another fill-in exercise. Fill in the spaces using the above box. Make any necessary changes. Don't forget to do that, to change the word if necessary. Okay, number 1. We wish we could have a more dots holiday. A more, an adjective. Good. A more adventurous holiday. A more adventurous holiday. There has been a sharp rise in the cost of basic. There has been a sharp rise in the cost of basic foodstuffs. Foodstuffs, things we eat. Number 3. I usually travel to other Emirates by public. Something I use for traveling. Public transport. I live in a coastal city. It has a rocky coastline. Very good. Coastline. The Dutch is superb in the mountains. The Dutch is superb, very beautiful in the mountains. The landscape or the nature, scenery. I finally reached my Dutch 2 hours late. Reach somewhere you're going. I finally reached my destination 2 hours late. We went to look at the dots of the castle. We went to look at the ruins of the castle. We went to look at the ruins of the castle. Number 8. Italy has dots with France. That's a line between the two countries. Italy has. Very good. Borders with France. Italy has borders with France. Okay. Now we come to the most important thing for reading, which is learning new reading skills. Okay. Recognizing comparisons. How can we know that we have a comparison between two things? Okay. Texts sometimes compare two things. For example, country A and country B. You have to look for these signpost words. Signpost words are words that help you understand the organization of a certain text. Okay? When we are talking about comparisons, we need to look for these signpost words. Whereas and while. Whereas and while. However, these words always tell you that we are going to talk about something different, or we will tell you the opposite of something that was mentioned before. On the other hand, when you are going to mention something different, so you say on the other hand, okay, the next fact only applies to one country or one thing. So this means you will talk about one of the countries, and this means we have a difference here to talk about, not a similarity. The next fact only applies to one country or to one thing. Okay? Check the text for the signpost words now. Okay? Switzerland, on the other hand. So, we mean that this is different from what was mentioned before. Switzerland, on the other hand, is completely landlocked. It's completely landlocked. The word landlocked means that the country doesn't have any seas, it doesn't have any coasts. Okay? So this means that what was mentioned before that is that the other country, of course, has a coastline. Okay? Again, Switzerland, on the other hand, is completely landlocked. However, the word however tells you that there is something unexpected will be mentioned here. There are water sports on many lakes. Very good. Yeah, of course. If you say that the country is landlocked and then you say you have water sports this is something unexpected, something that is opposite to what was mentioned in the previous sentence. Okay? Both countries. The word both here is used when we talk about a similarity between the two countries. Both countries are similar in the percentage of habitable land or habitable area. Tunisia is famous for its dates, while while means the next one is going to be different. While Switzerland is famous for not dates but for chocolate. Okay, so we have while. Whereas Tunisia offers desert safaris to the Grand Urk. Okay, so whereas is kind of similar to the word while because it means we will talk about something different. Whereas Tunisia offers desert safaris to the Grand Urk. Okay, another thing very important here is making inferences. That is, reading between the lines. You have to imagine what the writer wants to say without having certain words inside the text. Again, we have an explanation now. An inference is something that you think is true because of facts in the text. So it means it's a fact that is not really mentioned in the text, but you understand from the facts in the text. For example, the fact is Tunisia has a long Mediterranean coastline. Okay, so we know that Tunisia has a long Mediterranean coastline. The inference is that Tunisia would be a good place for a beach holiday, right? So the next sentence is not really mentioned in the text. It's not mentioned that Tunisia can be a good place for a beach holiday if you'd like to do some kind of swimming or something. It's not really mentioned, okay? But how do you know? You know, because it is mentioned in the text that Tunisia has a long Mediterranean coastline, okay? So you try to find or to expect that it is a good place for a beach holiday. This is what we mean by inference. These inferences are all true. Which information in the text leads you to each inference? Okay, for example, Tunisia is a good place for a beach holiday. This is an inference. How do you know? You know because you have something mentioned about Tunisia having a long Mediterranean coastline. So this is the fact. Okay? Okay, another thing you have to try for yourself. Switzerland does not have any ports or harbors. It doesn't have any ports or harbors. Okay? This is something mentioned in the text. You find this. It doesn't have any ports, any harbors. So, what do you expect now? What is the inference you can make? Very good. Of course, Switzerland doesn't have a coastline. Very good. It doesn't have a sea. That's why it doesn't have a port. Good. Okay, something else. Tunisia exports its dates. Tunisia exports, it sends out the dates. So this is the fact. What inference can you make? What inference can you make? Good. Tunisia is famous for its dates. Tunisia is famous for its dates. Very good. They don't grow cacao in Switzerland. Okay, now for the self-study, you can try this with your teachers, with your friends, and if you need any help, please email us or send your questions through the forum. Read the article on page 118 in your student's book, then do the following. Sum up or summarize the main points of the article. Very good exercise. Work out more information from the facts given in the text. So again, you have to make inferences, okay? Read between the lines, read the facts, and then decide what extra information can you find. Okay, now we move on to the other section, which is writing. We start again with the general summary and vocabulary. In this section you wrote sentences comparing two countries. So the whole idea here is to compare two countries. Now you will use all the information you learned in the other three sections in order to write a comparison between two countries. The UK, I mean the United Kingdom, and the USA, that's the United States of America, and you came through some vocabulary items. Please try to fill in the missing gaps with words from the box. Make any necessary changes. Okay. The United Kingdom is dots in Western Europe. Located. The United Kingdom is located in Western Europe. Okay. Whereas while the USA is a part of North America continent. Good. Okay. In dots, the UK and the USA, of course, English is the dots language. In, we need a kind of word here, a signpost word we studied in the previous section of reading. In, of course, both the UK and the USA, because we have a similarity to talk about here. In both the UK and the USA, of course, English is the main language. Dots in the USA, a large number of people speak Spanish. So we have something a little bit different now, because some people speak Spanish here, so very good. However, in the USA, a large number of people speak Spanish. The USA is much dots than the UK. Very good. The word than here is very important because we know that the previous word should be a comparative adjective, most of the times ending in ER. Okay, so the USA is much dots than the UK and just under 10 million square kilometers. The USA is much larger than the UK at just under 10 million square kilometers. Next. Dots the UK is just over 244,000 square kilometers. Whereas or while the UK or the United Kingdom is just over 244,000 square kilometers. The USA is also much dots in population. The USA is also much dots in population, much good, bigger in population There are just over 280 million people in the USA. That's with just under 60 million in the UK. With just under 60 million in the UK. Compared with, very nice expression, compared with just under 60 million in the UK. So if I say compared with, it means I will talk about or write about a difference. Compared with just under 60 million in the UK. Okay. Dots countries have a lot of dots land. Dots countries, what do you think? Good. Both countries have a lot of agricultural land. Both countries have a lot of agricultural land. But in Dots country, is agriculture the main? But, okay, although there are some agricultural lands, we have something unexpected here. But in, a little bit difficult, but you will know it, in neither country. It means none of these two countries has agriculture as the main industry. Okay, if I say neither, I'm negating the fact that these two countries have agriculture as the main industry. Okay, in neither country is agriculture the main industry. The main industry. In the UK, the main dots are services relating and banking. The main, what do you think? The main industries. In the UK, the main industries are services relating and banking. Dots in the USA, the main dots are oil and steel. Whereas or while in the USA, the main industries are oil and steel. The things they make. Now, match each of the following words with the right definition. Now we'll focus on each word. Okay, we have compare. Easy now. Compare. Compare between two things. Okay, continent, Africa, Asia, Australia. These are continents. As you can see here, we have lots of continents here. This is a continent, Africa, of course. Here is America and the other America. These are continents. Agriculture. From the picture, very easy. Agriculture, farming or growing plants. We studied that in the previous section. Agriculture. Agriculture. Industry. As a noun, industry. Okay, industry. Of course, it refers to the things a country produces or makes. Industry. Main. Main, the most important, the main thing. Location. 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 Location, of course, is showing where something is. This boy is pointing or trying to find the location of a place here on the map. Location. Okay. Try to fill in the gaps using the previously mentioned words. The work of making things in factories. We need a word meaning the work of making things in factories. Good. Industry. Wonderful. A place or position. Where something is. A place or position. Location. Wonderful. Location. Keeping animals and growing crops for food. Keeping animals and growing crops or plants for food. That is agriculture or farming, growing plants. Agriculture. Most important, the chief, the most important thing, or the chief thing. That is main. Main. To say that things or people are similar or different in a way or ways. Very good. To say that people or things have similarities and differences. What is that? That is to compare between two things. Compare. To mention similarities and differences. One of the 7 main areas of land on the earth. We have 7 of those on the earth. So, like Africa, Asia. What is that? Very good. Continent. Continent. Okay. Now, fill in the spaces with words from the list given in exercise B. Make any necessary changes. Don't forget that. Several dots have been suggested for the new housing estate. Several dots have been suggested for the new housing estate. Several locations, several places have been suggested for the new housing estate. My dot's reason for learning English is to get a better job. My, I needed an adjective here. My main reason for learning English is to get a better job. The new high-tech dots are replacing the main manufacturing ones in many areas. The new high-tech dots are replacing the manufacturing ones in many areas. The new high-tech industries. The new high-tech industries are replacing the manufacturing ones in many places. This is the building of the Ministry of... The Ministry of what? The Ministry of... One of the words we studied today. The Ministry of Agriculture. Very good. This is the building of the Ministry of Agriculture. Asia, Africa, and Antarctica are... What do you call these? They are continents. Good. They are continents. There is nothing to dots with the taste of bread fresh from the oven. There is nothing to... Very good. There's nothing to... Suppose you have some bread very fresh just coming from the oven. Actually, there is nothing to compare with that. You cannot compare anything with that because it's very, very good. There is nothing to compare. Okay, now we move on to the self-study. Things you should think of. Okay, write 5 sentences comparing your hobbies, lifestyle, future career, study habits, favorite subject, ambitions, etc. with a friend of yours. So you have to write about yourself and about one of your friends. Compare yourself to your friend in terms of hobbies, lifestyle, future career. Is it different from your friend or similar? Study habits. Do you share the same study habits or do you have different study habits? Favorite subject. Ambitions. What are the things you are or you want to do in the future, etc. Okay? And you'll have to remember the language you'll use for comparing, as we said today. Okay, again, we have some tips for you, some pieces of advice. We use comparative adjectives to compare two things or people. We usually use these words. Remember, we usually use these words. Both, if you have a similarity between two countries. Whereas and while, when you talk about two different things. So when you move from one thing to another, you say whereas or while. However, when you have something unexpected, and but, the same as however, okay? Neither when you would like to negate a fact concerning the two countries. So you mean that these two countries do not have something, or you negate any fact relating to the two countries together. Okay? On the other hand, we usually say on one hand and then on the other hand when you talk about something different. The same, of course, when you have some kind of similarity, and we use the word different when we talk about something different.
So that brings us to the end of our session today. Thank you very much for listening and see you next time.